Hi, my name is Alan Leach. In March in San Diego for IRSA, the International Health Racket and Sports Association, I presented the the Essential Digital Marketing Workshop for Fitness Business Success. I've been asked to present this presentation again for the Fitness Industry Technology Summit, and I'm delighted to do that. Very quickly, if you want to contact me about any of this at any stage, my email is alan.leach@westwood.ie. Before we get into talking about digital marketing, just a little bit about myself. I am the Chief Executive and the Director of Sales and Marketing for Westwood Clubs in Ireland. I also have been presenting and speaking on sales and marketing for over 15 years. Just a little bit about Westwood Club, so to put this in some context. Westwood Club is in Dublin in Ireland. They have 6 clubs. We would be what we would call multi-facility, premium price fitness clubs. Most of our clubs have gyms. Group fitness is a huge part of what we do. All of our clubs have the Les Mills immersive studios. Clubs have swimming pools, 25 metre pools, 50 metre pools, and many of our clubs also offer tennis. We do operate in the premium end of the market, and I hope that I've done these currency conversions properly. But we currently charge an enrolment fee or a joining fee of about 800 Australian dollars and a monthly fee of about $130. That's the adult membership. We have other memberships as well. Over the last 10 to 12 years, we've built up to where we've 36,000 members, well over 36,000 members in 6 fitness clubs in Dublin. One thing to remember is that in Dublin there are only 1 million people, so we compete against a lot of budget clubs, a lot of mid-price clubs. We've international players in the market now, and we are very much a sales-driven organisation, focusing very much on sales and marketing. So about 36,000 members at 6 clubs. We put through about 42,000 class visits a month through group fitness. We do a lot of swimming instruction and everything else. So that's just to give you a brief introduction, a brief idea of the Westwood clubs in Dublin. To achieve that level of success, we focus very, very much on marketing and sales. To give you an idea, we focus on 15 marketing components of our overall marketing plan. And before as I talk about digital marketing, just to go through each one of those very, very quickly. We think very much, have we the right sales and marketing culture at our company? Is everybody focused on sales, on marketing, and the success of the business? We think a lot about strategic marketing. Where do we want to be positioned in the market? How are we going to differentiate our product? Who do we compete against? What segments of the market will we go after? How will we create a competitive advantage in the market so that we can succeed long term? We also invest very heavily in our product. That means service, the different classes we offer, the different facilities we offer. We invest very heavily in facilities. And as I say, we have the Les Mills immersive in all of our 6 clubs. The other thing that's very important is that no matter how good the product is, in the fitness industry, particularly if you're at the premium end of the market, you've got to be able to sell that product. So the way we look at sales as part of an overall marketing strategy is we have a very professional selling system, a sales system that's been built up over the years and fine-tuned. We provide a huge amount of sales training for our staff, and we have very strong sales management in our clubs. We are very choosy about the type of sales staff we have. So all of those things combine together to turn it into a company that is very, very focused on sales and selling the product that we have to offer. The next part of that overall slide is you'll see the orange. Now that orange is really a cross between direct marketing, database management, lead generation, digital marketing, social media marketing, and marketing tech or marketing technology. We believe, and you'll see this when we go through this presentation, that digital marketing encompasses all of those. It even encompasses selling and everything else. But the orange part is very much where digital marketing has become a major part of what we do. And finally, we look at very much, obviously, building awareness and branding and making people aware of our product and what we do. And obviously retention, because it's retention that makes all of these different things profitable. But out of all of those 15 things, what really builds a strong culture at our company is we truly believe that clubs don't sell membership, people sell memberships. And it's the salespeople that sell those memberships. And when we go through the presentation, you'll see that we use digital marketing to support those salespeople, provide those salespeople with leads, and we'll talk about that. The other thing too is, before we move on to digital marketing, is that we have a sales system that I have developed over 31 years. And this sales system is constantly fine-tuned. Salespeople go through 5-6 days of sales training before they ever do their first tour of the club. And they're in and out constant training on, every few weeks back into training again and role play. So sales is a very big part of what we do to make us successful. And so that's really it. We're a family fitness club. We're a multi-facility fitness clubs. We definitely would operate at the premium end of the market. We have a huge amount of competition from the budget clubs. But we strongly believe, by being strong in marketing and strong in sales, that we can compete very easily with them. Now, the way we look at digital marketing is, and it's become a bigger and bigger and bigger part of what we do, is that digital marketing has revolutionized lead generation. This is a website we use. It generates about 2,300 new sales leads every single month. That means our salespeople across 6 clubs get 2,300, 2,400 new sales leads every month that they can sell to. And that's really been the huge benefit of digital marketing. So for the purpose of this presentation, I'm going to talk about the 10 components of our overall digital marketing strategy. And you can see where we tend to use this kind of circle of where everything is pointing to the center of this whole idea of profitable digital marketing. I hope to get through as many of these as possible over the next 60 to 80 minutes. And there's a lot to get in, so let's go ahead. Very, very quickly, the first thing is, my advice to you is that whether you're a personal trainer, or whether you're running a personal training studio, whether you're running a fitness club, whatever it is you're running, is to think very strongly about an overall digital strategy. Think strategically about what you want to do with digital marketing. And where to start is the first question: what is digital marketing? And this is a very important question, because so many people are unsure about what digital marketing is. It's so new, it's very easy to get caught up in all the new terminology and all the new tools and all the new social media channels. But first, simply stop and think, what is digital marketing? What can it do for my business? A very good book, Ogilvy and Advertising, written by Miles Young, and he gives his definition of what digital marketing is. And definitely for me and our company, we really live by this. And this is it. There is no such thing as digital marketing or digital advertising. There is just good marketing and good advertising. And if you remember that when you think about social media channels and search engines and content managed websites, the whole thing is this: that it is still about marketing and advertising. And if it's digital marketing, it should be based on sound marketing principles. So the next question then is, what is marketing? And this is just as important as the first question, because I always say that if you ask 1,000 people on the street what's marketing, you're going to get 1,000 different answers. And that's okay, because if you asked 100 academics what is marketing, you get 100 different answers. If we look at what Professor Philip Kotler wrote in his famous book, Kotler on Marketing, What is Marketing? And we don't want to get too academic in this presentation, but what he says is, marketing is the science and art of exploring, creating and delivering value to satisfy the needs of a target market at a profit. So the two words that are important is that you deliver value to customers, but you do it at a profit. And the profit is the most important word, particularly when you get into digital marketing, because it's very easy to spend an absolute fortune and not realize that you may not be getting a return on your investment. An example of profitable digital marketing, and I will go through this in detail, is the first thing anybody has when they have digital marketing is they're going to have a website. This is our website, and you will see for the Westwood Club, and that was recently redone. And again, we think very much as, why do we have a website? We have a website because we want to get more business. How do we get more business? We get more leads. What do we want to do with those leads? We want to get them to come visit our club. When they come and visit our club, we want to sell them a membership, and we even use technology for retention then to make sure they stay with us long enough that it is profitable. So as I said, that generates for us about 2,300 new sales leads every month. The important thing about those 2,300 new sales leads every month, they go directly into a internal database. And I'll talk about in a while what that internal database is and what we do with it. The reason you will see the two red lines on the screen there in front of you is that we have to cover up the emails and the telephone numbers, because obviously we have data protection to worry about, and we don't want people ringing these people. But to give you an idea, when I say 2,300 leads, this is, I believe, the leads we got directly into our database from the website in May. And you'll see there 2,343 leads. Now, 2,300 leads on average a month will give us 27,600 leads per year. So they are sales leads. And the important thing is they're not worth 1 cent until you get them to buy membership, or get them to buy personal training, or get them to buy whatever services you choose to sell, or whatever service you sell. For us, we sell membership to about 22% of those leads. Now, 22% of those leads buying memberships means that from the website, we are getting just over 6,000 new members who buy membership. We also know that the average length of those memberships for cancelled memberships is about 25 months. So on average, those members stay with us for about 25 months. And at the price we charge, which in Australian dollars, the lifetime value of each of those members is just over 2,500 Australian dollars, which means that website is generating about 15.5 million Australian dollars for us. And that comes from generating the leads, using the telephone and technology and salespeople to get those leads to visit the club, and then using professional salespeople to get those people to buy membership. But it's just one aspect of digital marketing, but this concept of that it has to be profitable. And I will go through and how we generate those leads and how we convert those leads later on. The thing that you need to think about again, and you'll hear me repeat this many times, is to think strategically about your marketing. Now, we have only a certain amount of time, and what I've tried to do for you is pick what I would believe are the 5 basic rules of a good digital marketing strategy. Number 1, and this is very important, don't abandon proven marketing tools for the latest shiny object. Remember, with digital marketing, nearly all of the digital marketing channels that you have are companies. They are there to make money, and they want you to spend money with them through advertising dollars. They want you to pay them, and they're in business just like you are. And what can happen is we get caught up in this new thing that comes along, and we believe when we hear it that this is the thing that's going to make us an absolute fortune. And sometimes we leave aside some of the already profitable and proven marketing tools that we're doing. So do keep that in mind. An example would be texting, SMS marketing. I've been doing it for 18, 19, 20 years. Still hugely profitable, far more profitable than email marketing. Certainly more profitable than social media. But we don't stop doing that because somebody says you have to do something else. It's the newest kid on the block. So be careful of the new shiny object. The second digital marketing strategy thing to think about is make sure that whatever you do with digital marketing, make sure that it fits in with your overall business goals. You know, what are your goals at this stage? If you're a personal trainer trying to get 5 new clients, well, your goals are different than a chain of 60 clubs who's trying to open up another 20 clubs, maybe have pre-sales, or it might be different than another brand that is basically just trying to build awareness about its brand. But you really need to think about what are your business goals and what are you trying to achieve in the next year or two before you jump on the latest digital marketing tool. The third digital marketing question you need to ask when it comes to digital marketing strategy is decide if you need a 1 or 2-step sales process. Let me explain. Are you going to sell membership online? Well, that's a 1-step process. You will design a website where you will put your prices up online and you'll do everything to get somebody to buy a membership online. Or maybe you'll have a 2-step sales process like we have, and it's one that I would always recommend to clients or clubs that I work with, particularly at the high price or even the mid-price market. We want to get people into our club so that we can then meet with them and do a sales presentation and get them to buy memberships. So we're very much getting you into a database, getting you into the sales funnel, and leaving the rest up to our salespeople to get you into the club and to sell your membership. So it's a 2-step sales process. The fourth question you need to ask yourself is this. You have a huge amount of social media channels, all sorts of search engines, and a lot of options when it comes to digital marketing. And you've got to decide where to spend your money and, more importantly, your time. So when you look at all the different marketing channels, just stop and think. Rather than think we should be there because everybody says we should be there, think, what can we do there? What can we do in Facebook? What can we do in LinkedIn? What can we do in Twitter? What can we do in Instagram? What can we do in YouTube? Do we even need to be there? There are tons and tons and tons of health clubs and gyms and personal training studios doing stuff on social media, on Facebook channel, whatever channel, and not really getting a whole lot of business out of it. Which brings me to the next and final point of strategy is, the days of getting it all for free are gone. Get used to it. Thinking that you can just post a picture and a couple of words on a Facebook post and it's going to transfer your business, it is just ludicrous. That's not going to happen. Facebook is a company, Google is a company, Instagram is owned by Facebook. They're there to make money just as much as you. And while you can do a certain amount organically without paying for Google ads or without paying for Facebook advertising, the truth is that if you're really out there competing, you're probably going to have to pay to get a return on your efforts on these channels. Some of them not so much, and we'll talk about that. The next thing we need to talk about then is, why do you even want to do digital marketing? Okay, some of these figures I'm sure you know, but it's always useful to remind us of these figures. Why do you need to be involved in digital marketing if you're a gym, a personal training studio, a chain of health clubs, or whatever it is, or you're running or operating or managing? Why do you really need to get a handle on digital marketing? Okay, let's just look at some of the statistics. Out of a population of nearly 8 billion people, it is phenomenal in such a short period of time that over 5 billion people on the planet use mobile phones. 4.4 billion use the internet. 4.4 billion people use the internet. 3.5 billion people are active social media users. 3.5 billion out of 7.6 billion. And 3.3 billion are using social media and telephone. So what you're seeing here is everybody today, from young to middle-aged, old, are living day-to-day online, either through the internet, social media, but particularly more than ever on their mobile phone. The second reason is not only are they using it, and again, it's worth reminding you of this, and we all need to be reminded, is there's a huge amount of money. People are spending money online. In 2014, that was $1.3 trillion. We're talking about 5 years ago, $1.3 trillion. In 2018, $2.8 trillion. And by 2020, $4.1 trillion. So what you have is people are spending money online. And if you're in the fitness business, I'm hoping and I believe that your goal is to try and get your share of that 4.1 trillion. It might be quite small, but the idea is that you want people to spend their money with you. This is also given a rise to, and it's something to remember, is that the digital advertising spend worldwide is going through the roof. So what you have is while you have people spending these trillions of dollars online, you also have businesses now spending billions of dollars to get a percentage of that money. So they're going out to the people online and say, buy my product, buy my product, buy product. But even in a very short period of time, in 2015, $162 billion was spent on digital advertising worldwide. By 2018, that had gone $270 billion. By 2020, that will be $335 billion being spent online on advertising. So you're talking about social media advertising, Google advertising. Basically, companies are switching a huge proportion of money from the older types of advertising, TV, radio, newspapers, magazines, into digital marketing or digital advertising. You'll hear me use the word advertising instead of marketing a lot because we're talking about advertising here. When people talk about digital marketing, most times they're actually talking about digital advertising. It's the idea of advertising them products and promoting the products online. Another reason that you want to get into digital marketing, and it's this. A recent report where they went out and researched marketing departments and companies all over the world, and they've asked, in 2018, what were your biggest marketing challenges? So we're the fitness industry. We've got our personal training studio, our gym, our health club, our chain of health clubs, or whatever business that you have, and you're thinking, is everybody else facing the same challenges as I am? So as you can see there, hiring the right talent, training their team, managing the website, getting enough budget for marketing, which technology should I use? How do I prove to my boss or whoever it is that I can get a return on investment on my marketing activities? These are all the challenges that very big companies are facing in their marketing departments. So if you worry about those things, just keep in the back of your head. So do the big companies worry about them. But number one, ahead of all of them, was generating traffic and leads. So in nearly every industry, one of the biggest marketing challenges, how do I get more leads to sell my product to? And that's what we're going to talk about now. The club that we run, the number one goal for nearly all of our digital marketing is to get leads. And it's a very simple goal, and it's a very easy measurable goal. If I change something, do I get more leads? If I change something and I get less leads, I should go back to what I was doing. If I change something and I get more leads, well, that worked. So really the number one goal is, am I getting more and more leads that I can sell to? One thing we should remember is, and I'm probably older than most of you listening to this, is that I remember when you would have to go out in the street and get leads, and we'd ask new joiners to give us leads, and we'd go out on the floor and ask for leads. And I have been involved in sales for over 30 years, and I know many sales teams that I've managed and built up didn't like that part of the sales job. They prefer to be in front of a potential member and get them to buy membership or get them to buy personal training. But the truth is that the internet has revolutionized lead generation, and if you do it well, you can get more leads than you can handle. You truly can, and it's not as difficult as most people think. But the way to think about it, if you're going to look at leads, that leads are profitable, there are three types of business leads that you can get your hands on. And so let me just go through these because this is very important. Number one, there is the potential business or leads that you don't own, but you can't control. I'll repeat that. The potential business or leads that you don't own, but you can't control. So if you look online, the people on Facebook, the people on Google, you don't own those people. But if you're prepared to pay Google or pay Facebook, you can target those people with specific campaigns. So you don't own those leads that Facebook have, and you don't own that traffic that Google have, but you can pay money to have access to those people, and I'll talk about how you can do that. The second type of potential business or leads is the ones that you neither own or control. And what that means is that Google have lots of people, billions of people that make search, or billions of searches are made every day. So for gym, for swimming pool, for weight loss, for fitness, for lots of things, for dog training, for whatever. And people go online. Google own that traffic. You don't own that traffic. And unless you're prepared to pay Google or be very clever with SEO, You don't really own or control that. Google or Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, they own that. Okay, so the first one is the same, except that if you're prepared to pay Google or Facebook or LinkedIn or any of these social media companies, that you can control it by saying, look, I want to go after that market. I will pay you. Will you send them to my website or whatever the case may be? And we'll talk about that. And it might sound confusing, but hopefully the third one, which is the most important, it'll make a bit of sense. The third one is the potential business or leads that you own. And the important word in all of these is the potential business. So if I tell you that every day there are 200,000 searches in your locality for the word health club, you don't really have control over where those people, or whether those people are really going to see your website or not. Now, if you're very good in search engine optimization, you can certainly make that happen, or you can pay Google. Okay. But the final one is the potential business or leads that you own, the potential business or leads. And what that is, the potential business or leads that are in your database. Your database. So the goal of all digital marketing is to move from the first two into the third two, and to move as many of those leads that are online, as many of those leads that, come to you because you paid for Google advertising or Facebook advertising. Get as many of those into your internal database. Now, let me tell you, when we talk about profit, what that means. This is a direct mail letter that generated for us 4.5 million. That's American dollars, by the way. We do a lot of direct mail. There's 13 direct mail letters that we did over 8 or 9 years, generated $31 million for us. When I show that, you might think that's not digital marketing. And when I ask the question, when I work with clients or when I'm presenting, do you consider that digital marketing? Most people would go, no, that's not digital marketing. And then I ask them this question: where do you think I got the names, telephone numbers, and addresses of the people to send those letters to? I get it through digital marketing, because I have a database of 242,278 leads, and that's what allows me to generate this money. So if we go back a bit, what I'm saying to you is that letter was sent to probably 200,000 leads. These letters were sent to hundreds of thousands of leads. But those leads are in our database. I don't have to pay Google to access those names. I don't have to pay Facebook to access those names. They're in my database. And this is how we do it. On our website, and I'll go through this with you, is we direct everything to our internal database. So, most people probably do this now. When I started presenting this stuff several years ago, nobody was doing it. So we use forms, and here's an example of form on our website: Adam Boland, email address and a telephone number. And what happens is that goes directly into our database. There it is there, Adam Boland. So the minute he fills out a form, it's directly into our database. He's chosen the preferred club, Westmanstown, which is one of our clubs. So that's how we're generating leads all the time. And when you look at digital marketing and your fitness business and your personal training, again, whatever type of fitness business you run, your goal should be to get as many of those leads into your database. So when you start looking for leads digitally, so online, you're going to try and build up where you can get a couple of, 1,000 leads a month. Here's the questions you need to ask, and it's worth taking a pen and taking a little bit of time and think about this. Who is your ideal client or clients? Who are they? Now, if you're a one location club, I can tell you it's probably going to be decided geographically. They live within a 12-15 minute radius of my club. If you have 10 clubs all over a city, you might say, well, geographically they live in the city. And then you might decide, I'm going to go for men, I'm going to go for women, I'm going to go for under 20-year-olds, 20 to 30-year-olds, 30 to 40-year-olds. You really need to try and figure out who is my ideal client. And secondly, where can you find them online? So if you decide that you're going after a market that simply doesn't use Instagram, let's say they're 60-year-olds you're going after, are they really on Instagram? I'm not saying they're not, but you kind of have to ask yourself the question, where are they online? Where are they? The next thing you need to think about is what sort of bait are you going to use to attract them? So you've decided, this is who I'm going after. I know they're on Google, I know they're on Facebook or wherever they may be online, and this is what I'm going to use to attract them. Now, that's not that difficult. I can tell you we use one very simple tool, complimentary 4-day trial membership. You can do a 1-day trial membership, a 3-day trial membership. You can do free weight loss reports. You can do request a brochure. Whatever it is you decide you want to use, you decide what will best get them to give you their name, telephone number, and email. If you decide I want to give a free 3-week membership, go for it and measure response. See, does it work? Do you get the names, telephone numbers, and emails? If you're afraid to use free trial memberships, think of something else. But you need to get something that when people land on your website, there's something there attractive. And finally, and I'm sure you probably know this because it'll help when you write copy for these type of offers, is what are you actually selling? Are you selling fitness? Are you selling weight loss? Are you selling facilities? What are you actually selling? What are you going to use to attract them? For a larger portion of this presentation, I will be talking about 2 companies, Google and Facebook. People often ask me, why Google and Facebook? Well, it's very simple. It's where the eyes are. That's it. That's where people's eyes are, on Google and Facebook. You're going to hear a lot of stories about other social media channels, and I'll talk about them in a second. But just to kind of give you an idea with Google and Facebook, Google gets 5.6 billion searches every single day. On average, 5.6 billion searches. That's people on the line typing in something and hitting the enter key 5.6 billion times every single day. Whenever you hear about Facebook slowing down, going up, the fact is they have 2.34 billion active users. And just for those that kind of, and if you think, well, how big is Facebook and how big is Google, and do I need to be on Instagram, do I need to be on LinkedIn or whatever, and you have a lot of other options as well, just to give you the power of these 2 companies. In 2012, Google and Facebook own 47% of online global revenues. That means 47% of all spending on advertising online was going to 2 companies. If you look at to the right of that slide, that 9%, that represents that Google and Facebook were getting 9% of all advertising. So we're talking about all advertising globally, including radio, TV, newspapers, magazines, everything. 9% was going to Google. And that was in 2012. By 2016, 20% of all advertising globally and every type of advertising was going to 2 companies, Google and Facebook. Today, that's 25%. Now, to put that in perspective, every penny spent on advertising around the globe, around the world, on TV, on radio, on newspapers, on everything, goes to 2 companies, Google and Facebook. And to show you the level of revenue, and people used to question me years ago, do people really click on Google Ads? In 2001, 100 million was the revenue for Google Ads, 100 million. By 2005, it had gone to 6.1 billion. By 2015, 67 billion, when I first presented, on this subject of digital marketing. In 2018, that's $116 billion going to 1 company for advertising. The reason I do tell you that is just remember this, that when you advertise your club, and if you choose to go with Google advertising, remember you're paying Google. Google are getting richer. That's something to remember. And you have to ask yourself, is it really worth it? Am I getting the return? And this is why I talk a lot about profitability. Obviously, the losers in all this are the magazines, because for many years, magazines and newspapers got a lot of this money. And as you can see, in the US, magazine revenues have dropped by $46 billion in 10 years to $28 billion. So that's a massive drop in revenue for US magazines. And even in the EU, you can see that magazine advertising expenditures dropped from 10.1 billion to 6.2 billion. So you can see money is definitely moving from the conventional type of marketing advertising to online. So if we talk about Google and Facebook and how we're going to use that to grow our fitness business and our get more leads, get more business, get more profits, the 2 of them are not the same thing. This is very important. They're not the same thing. And when you look at them, there's a very simple way to think about what they can do for you. With Google, you're advertising to what someone is doing now. So someone's on a keyboard, they're typing in a search term. I'll pick something crazy. Where do I find a brown horse? If you type that in, if you sell brown horses, you would hope that your company would appear when they hit that enter key. So you're advertising what someone is doing now is they're typing in on a keyboard. The difference with Facebook is you're advertising to who somebody is. So somebody has a Facebook profile, and on that is their age and their interest and all of the activity they do with what they like, what they dislike, what they say. Facebook have that information, and you can pay Facebook to advertise to specific target markets. So you can pay to advertise to, different genders, different age groups, different interests, different occupations. It is really a vast of what you can do. So the two of those companies, just remember, so with Google, you're advertising to what somebody's actually typing in on a keyboard. With Facebook, you're advertising to who they are. Now, this is starting to change because they compete with each other for advertising dollars. So Facebook is starting to look at what Google does, and Google is starting to look at what Facebook does. And Google is, without a shadow of a doubt, moving more into, getting profiles and people be able to sell that to potential marketeers. An example would be is I can actually pay Google to advertise to people who go on a competitor's website. So if I have a competitor down the road, I can go to Google and find out people that are on that, looking at their timetable, and then I could actually target those people. So there is a crossover between what these do. The new kid in the block when it comes to advertising, and there's no doubt that this is where a lot of advertising dollars are going to go, is Amazon. Amazon have definitely moved into the advertising sector because that's where you buy things, and Amazon know what you buy and they know what you pay. And they can certainly sell that to people who want to advertise to people that buy certain products. So, but for the moment, we'll stick with Google and Facebook. Now, when we move through these circles and we move a bit faster now, the next two is what's called SEO marketing, which is search engine optimization marketing, and pay-per-click marketing. And I would put both of them, and I'll explain in a second what they are, under search marketing. And what we're talking about search marketing is we are marketing to what people search for. So you go to a keyboard, you type in something, anything, you hit the enter key, and I'm marketing to what you typed in on that keyboard. So if you typed in that keyboard, nicest hotel in Greece, the Greek island of Ios. Well, if I own a hotel in Ios, when you hit that enter key, I will want to be there when you look at that page one of Google, and there's certain ways of doing that. Now, there's no doubt is that when it comes to search marketing, Google is king, because globally, all over the world, 88.4% of all search all over the world, every country, is done in Google, and some countries will certainly be higher than that. Brazil, I think, is up at 93-94%. Now, what we're going to use that is to create a lead generation campaign on autopilot. Just think of lead generation on autopilot, where you're getting leads when you're asleep, when you're not at your office, you're generating leads constantly. Now, the question is, how well do us in the fitness industry do that? Do we do it well, or do we not do it too well? Now, here's what happens is, every single month there's approximately 100 billion searches in Google, about 100 billion searches for crazy stuff, but a certain percentage of that is for health clubs and gyms and things like that. Now, there is a tool that I'll talk about later and we'll show you how to use this. It's called Google Keyword Planner. Now, I use Google Keyword Planner constantly, every single day probably, to look up new keywords. But just an example is, I was presenting in London, and what we do is we put in these keywords, and when we put in these keywords, you see it there: gyms near me, how to lose weight, bodybuilding, Pilates, men's health, weight loss. And to the right of that is the average number of monthly searches. Exact match means that they have to just type in gym and nothing else, gyms near me and nothing else. So that's an exact match. So there, it's 246,000 times as someone just puts in gym, or 74,000 times as somebody only puts in how to lose weight. And to the right of the numbers is what you would pay, or what they're suggesting you bid for that keyword. So what you're saying is, I'm prepared to give Google 66 cents for the word yoga. So that means that if you type in the word yoga and hit the enter key, their suggestion that I would pay 66, 67 cents to appear on Google. But don't worry too much about that for the moment. The reason I'm using that is to show you keywords that I do research on. So you go down here, there's some more spin class, lose belly fat, yoga classes, boxing gym, weight training, how to build muscle and fitness. Some more there, best exercise for tummy, drop a dress size, aquafit classes. And the question I put you is that if you own a personal training studio or a health club or a gym, are you able to help me with these? Think about what lead generation is. Lead generation is finding people with problems that you have solutions for. I'll repeat that, finding people with problems that you have solutions for. So if I have a problem, I need weight management, can you help me? If I'm looking to drop a dress size, can you help me? If I'm looking for aquafit classes, can you help me? Am I looking for Les Mills classes, can you help me? If I'm looking for kids fitness, can you help me? If I'm looking for weight training for beginners, can you help me? So the question is, can you help me? Now, I believe from memory that's for London, and in that there, those key terms that key words or key phrases that I did there and did research on. In Google, there's about 3.2 million searches in 90 days. 3.2 million searches in 90 days. Here's the important part. All of those key terms and those keywords that I just showed you, 61% do not include the word gym or health club. So how can I lose weight doesn't include the word gym or health club, but you can help me. How to lower blood pressure, you can help me, but it doesn't include the word gym or health club. Now, in every city that I present and speak for different conferences and different trade shows, I take a percentage of those. Here they are. And I pop them into the Google search engine. Every country, in every state in America, in the UK, in different countries I present in, I put them in to Google. And here's the thing. Never has any gym or health club or personal training studio ever appeared for any of those search terms. For how to lose weight fast, how to lower blood pressure, how to get a six-pack, successful weight loss, weight training for women. All of the things we do, when you put them into a search engine and hit the enter key, you don't see any health clubs or gyms on page 1 of Google. So when we say we don't get enough leads, the reason we don't get enough leads is we haven't thought about who our market is, and we haven't thought about what would be attractive to get them to contact us or even look at our website. Now, the way we do it in Dublin is, to give you an example, if you type in how to lose weight fast and you're in Dublin, what will happen is we will be there at the very top of Google. If you type in how to lower blood pressure, we will be at the very top of Google. If you're in Dublin and you type in weight training for women, we will be at the top of Google. If you type in weight loss advice, that's a tough one. We're number 3. But what's important there, and you see number 3, if I actually bring you back here, just again, that one there, weight training for women, we've paid for that. You'll see the yellow, that's ad, okay? The next one, which is weight training for women, you'll see there's the ad, we've paid for that. But weight loss advice, when you see it there, we have not paid for that. We're appearing on number 1 in Google in the organic listings, and above us is 2 paid for ads by fairly big companies. This idea of search marketing, and this is the beauty of digital marketing, it's exploiting the power of multiplicity. And what that means is, for many years before digital marketing like this, it was extremely difficult to target lots and lots of different segments of the market, because you would produce a brochure or a flyer or some advertising, and you had to try and do a general ad that just said about what your fitness business, your club did. With digital marketing, you can do literally hundreds and hundreds of different campaigns for different target markets. So you can target women, you can target men, you can target teens, you can target the health market, people who want to lose blood pressure, people who want to do exercise for golf. You can target what you like. So it's this idea of the power of multiplicity. And the way that it should work is this. Here's an example of a girl on a beach. She has her laptop. Not very clever in the sand, but she has her laptop. And she goes into Google and she decides that she wants a ladies only gym. So she types in ladies only gym. Now this is what's important. Westwood Club is not a ladies only gym. It's a huge, big, multi-facility, high-priced, premium club with tennis and swimming pools and everything else. But if she types in ladies only gym, we have a small ladies only gym in our club, we will dominate page 1 of Google. Dominate it because of the way we've set up our website and our search engine optimization, our Google AdWords and our content management. We will dominate it. So the idea is she clicks one of them, unless she decides to skip all that, and she will be taken directly to our ladies only gym page, and you will start to see the word ladies only gym. It's not the home page. She was looking for a ladies only gym. That was her question. That's what she typed in. She sees ladies only gym. She goes down there and sees the headline main gym or ladies gym. You choose. She can also see that there's a 4-day pass there to go for free. If she clicks on that, she sees the 4-day pass that pops up. It's not a pop-up, it's a full page. She puts her details in there. Why not? To apply for a 4-day pass. Within seconds, she goes directly into our database. There she is. You see her there, Adriana Deacon. Deacon, I think, yes. And what happens is, she's done that. We have our sales teams in our clubs. That comes up on the computer screen and they're ready then to make contact with her. The first thing will be they will phone her and they will do emails and they will do SMS and do everything to get that lady into the club. And they will keep after her until she comes down and hopefully joins, and then we'll use obviously technology and digital marketing to keep her as a member. But that's a simple way of saying I want to go after people who are looking for ladies only gym, set up a campaign, make it automatic, and that's it. Now, when we go in, how does that happen? And we'll go back to this, to search engine optimization and pay-per-click marketing. Let's talk about search engine optimization. SEO is the acronym for search engine optimization. And really what it is it's about getting your website or certain web page on page 1 of Google. Basically, the first listing on page 1 of Google is number 1. The last listing on the last page in Google, whether it's 1 million, is the last. But ideally, you need to get onto page 1 of Google, and the best place to be is on number 1. So an example would be, as you can see here up in the top left-hand corner, Les Mills Classes Dublin. You hit your enter key, what pops up? We do Les Mills, so do a lot of our competitors do Les Mills. More and more people are looking for Les Mills now. So I want to make sure that if you're looking for Les Mills Class in Dublin, this is what will appear. Now, again, it's this idea. We don't appear once. This is the organic listing here. Just for people that don't know, if you don't know, it's free, non-paid listings. The one above for competitor hours, they pay to be there. The ones in the orange square have not paid to be there. And you'll see that if our Les Mills class in Dublin, we dominate that page. So our goal is not to appear once, it's to dominate the page. The question is, why is that so important for a fitness business? It's very simple, and this is the great thing about digital marketing. Stats are out there. If you appear on the first listing of organic listings there where it says, you'll see it, you will get 36.4% of the clicks. So if that's your business there, 36% of the people who landed on that page will click on your website. Number 2, 12.5%. Number 3, 9.5%. And actually, believe it or not, the ads do get about 27% of the clicks. The important thing there is your goal is to get onto page 1 and definitely get as far up as you can on page 1. And that's where the real money is, and that's where the leads is. And definitely if you're up there, you can be getting hundreds and hundreds of leads. I've said this many times in the presentations, that if you murder your wife and you want to hide the body, put her on page 2 of Google, she'll never be found. An interesting one too is the first position in Google search results on mobile has a 31% click-through rate. So if you can be on the first position in Google on a mobile, you'll get 31% click-through rate. And this is why SEO is the number 1 search marketing tool. And companies, not just fitness clubs, companies all over the world, and marketing departments, 61% of markets say improving search engine optimization and growing their organic presence. So think about this. The organic presence is the bit you don't pay Google for. So page one of Google, you're going to have some ads at the top, and underneath is the organic listings. If you're there, you have not paid Google for that. You may have paid someone like me to do it for you, but you've not paid Google, or you've someone on staff. So 61% of marketing departments say improving SEO and growing their organic presence is their top inbound marketing priority. When we talk about inbound marketing, it's a lovely word taught up by the marketing people. It's marketing that comes in through your website. Just imagine that you haven't actually gone out. They've been online looking for something, and they've landed in your website, or they've found your website online. How does SEO work? And I'll try to do this as simply as possible. You have a web page. Well, we have a web page there. It's our private swimming lessons page on our website. And what actually happens is, when you have a website and you have pages, and Google know that you have a website, your web developer would tell Google, and sometimes they just find out. But what happens is they send out this little fella here. It's a piece of software. It's called a Google bot. And what they do is constantly go out and look at your website, and in effect they use software to read your website and look at your website. And then what happens is they go back to these big server farms. So just imagine that little fella you saw spinning around the screen is a bit of software. They've read your web page, it goes back to a server farm, brings it in there and pops it in and index it. So the thing about Google is every single page on the vast majority of web pages on websites all over the world are stored and indexed in Google server farm. So they have that information in there. And the idea then is that if you are in Dublin or whatever, and you put in the term private swimming lessons, I'm looking for private swimming lessons. So you type that into Google. Google uses what's called an algorithm. It's a formula. Think of it as a formula that they constantly keep changing to decide when somebody typed in, private swimming lessons, okay, they use that algorithm to decide what will appear on page one of Google. Now, again, I'm using us as a case study because, I put a lot of work into this to get this work. You will see we don't appear once. We dominate the page. The first 4 is for all our swimming lessons and everything else. The last one is we set up another website called Learn to Swim, which is ours. If you go to that, you'll be redirected to our site. So we tend to dominate the private swimming lesson thing in Dublin. And again, you're starting to see this idea of being able to target different markets that before would have been very difficult or very expensive. This is a private swimming lessons campaign. The one was the other before was a ladies only gym campaign, and these operate in the background, so they would land on our swimming page there. Another example is somebody wants to build strength. I'm just picking these because to give you an idea of how it can be done. Build strength, you probably can't see it there because that's a difficult one. When you talk about build strength, there's a lot of people trying to get on page one. The fitness magazines, the personal trainers, the gyms, the publishers of books, Amazon are all trying to get up there for that term to get your money. Where we will appear, okay, it's low down on page one, but we're the only health club on page one, the only health club. So that if you do click there, you get our strength and conditioning page, not our home page, directed to our strength and conditioning page, Build Strength. Another one would be Tennis Dublin. Okay, you type that in Dublin, you'll see we are the first 2 listings on Google. So again, you're bound to click there. We're talking about 37 and 12, the 49% of the clicks go to the first 2 listings. We're going to get that. Another one is a completely different market, the bodybuilding market. We don't want to say no, so if somebody types in bodybuilding Dublin, you'll see we're number 2 there, which is again a tough market tough words to get onto page one because you've supplements trying to get in there, you've the fitness magazines, the bodybuilding magazines, all competing to get onto page one. But Westwood Club will be number 2 on page one, and again you get to our bodybuilding zone page of our clubs. Another example where this can be really helpful is it's difficult to show you exactly how to do this. We have several fitness clubs in Dublin. We have 6, and a lot of times people will go in and type gym in Dublin. Now what's really cool is the way Google are doing it now, and do keep in mind Google are changing all the time, but some of the principles are still the same and very important and don't change as much as they'd like to have you think they are. But Google are doing a lot to help you as well. So if you went into Dublin and typed in gym in Dublin, you'll see us appear there and you'll see us appear there. Now, it might be difficult to see in your screen, but the one in the bottom, we're number one in Dublin. You will see it lists our clubs. Aston Quay, Leopardstown Gym, Sandymount Gym, Westmanstown Gym. It lists them there. So if you're looking for a gym in Dublin and you know Aston Quay and you click on Aston Quay, it takes you directly to our Aston Quay page. And why this is important is the concept of relevance is extremely important in digital marketing. In that looking for a gym in Dublin. Aston Quay is in the city centre in Dublin. So you see gym in Aston Quay, you see luxury gym in Dublin City. It's kind of answering the search that you put into the search engine. So there's a lot going on here, but the idea is, and there's a 4-day pass, that if you're looking for a gym in Dublin, why wouldn't you click that? We get your name, telephone number and email. Now, I could spend 3 weeks on a consultancy project teaching you how to do SEO. I'm going to try and do it in about 90 seconds. So here you go. Search engine optimization basics. What are the basics that you need to know that will help you appear on page 1 of Google for people that you would like to have as clients or members or whatever? So people who want to lose weight, want to get fit, want to tone up, looking for a gym, looking for a health club, looking for a personal training studio, looking for a swimming pool, looking for a gym with childcare. How do you appear on page 1 of Google? The first thing to remember is, with search engine optimization, you are what Google says you are. And this is it. They're a company. So if Google think you're the best gym in town, you will be up there as the best gym in town. If Google believe you've a crash with a gym, they'll put you up there. You are what Google says you are. But here's the thing. When you design your website, this is what you see. This is what we see. So this is our body balance page. So you see that beautiful picture and you see the writing and you put all that effort in. The problem is that's not what Google sees. Or more importantly, that's not what the Google bots or Google Spider sees. The software that's reading your website, the Google software that's reading the content of your website, that's not what it sees. It can't visually see pictures, it can't visually see colors. What Google sees is what's written on your website. Or more importantly, the code that's in the background of your website. And our friend here reads that and takes that page and indexes in a Google server, in a Google server farm. And the idea is that if you have 180 pages on your website, or 60 pages on your website, or 300 pages on your website, copies of those pages are stored in servers belonging to Google. And when people are searching for stuff, Google decides is one of those pages relevant to the person who just typed something into a search engine. The great thing about Google and the good thing about Google is they are so committed to helping you doing it right. You could hire me to teach you how to do it, or you can simply go to Google, and a lot of this stuff is free on Google. Google Webmaster Tools, they will tell you what you need to do to make your website friendlier for Google. So what Google is looking for on your website to help you get onto page 1. So certainly read through that. Some of the basic things you need to know are, there's what's called on-page and off-page factors. Now what that means is, when you create a web page on a website, what's on that page has a huge impact on whether you're going to appear on page 1 of Google, or number 1 or number 2 or number 3 on Google. The other thing are what they call off-page factors. They're not actually on the web page. They're other things that happen not on the page, things like what we call links. If you have a website, there's a ton of great links in. The local university, the local hospital, the local government department have links going into your website. Google see that as something good. They say, well, other people are prepared to link into this website, so it must be a good website, respectable website. So they give you kudos for that. Some of the basics, and this is the thing, and I'm going to show you how this works in a second. The first thing you need to think about with digital marketing is the page title. You need to look at every single page on your website and see what is that page title. And the title is basically, and I'll show you in a second, is letting Google know what's on this page. So if you have a title of a page, weight management in Sydney, well, Google reads that and sees, okay, it says weight management in Sydney. Must be about weight management in city. Then they will look at the keywords and the key phrases, and that's the content, the copy that's on that web page. So if you are weight management in Sydney, is there a headline that says weight management in Sydney? Are they talking about weight management in Sydney? Are they talking about weight management clinics in Sydney? No, you cannot overdo it, but they're looking for a flavour of the words and the key phrases in that copy to see, is this really about weight management in Sydney? The next thing that's very important is and this is the hard work, the copy that's on those web pages needs to be relevant to what somebody typed into the search engine. So if I type in weight training for rugby players and you've put an ad up there, or somehow I land on your website and it's just nothing to do with weight training for rugby players, it's not going to do well in SEO. So this is why the idea of writing relevant content is very important. Then you've content hierarchy. What that means is the first thing they're going to look on a web page is the headline. The first thing they're going to look at the page title. Then they're going to look at the main headline, what we call the H1, the number top headline. Then they're going to look at the subheads throughout the copy, and then they're going to look at the copy as well. So it's very much of what a good copywriter would do anyway, but Google is doing it for you. The next thing is what's called the URL. So if you think westwood.ie is a URL, westwood.ie/swimming pool is a URL, westwood.ie/fitness class is another URL. So they look at what's in that, and ideally you want to have mobile friendly websites and a lot of high quality backlinks, which is links going into your website. So that's the off page stuff. So if Westwood has links coming in from newspapers and universities and hospitals to articles that we've written, Google sees that as a good thing. What they're saying is that these reputable organizations are prepared to link into parts of your website and reference it or whatever and say this is good or see this. Google see that as good, because basically what they're saying is it's the good word of mouth, okay, that people are prepared to link into it. An example would be here's an example, if you can see this on the screen because it's quite small. This is our weight loss page. So you'll see here the title is Lose Weight Now, Free Weight Loss Advice Westwood Club. So the first thing is the page title is saying something here about losing weight. Then you look at the URL, weight loss fitness plans, lose weight is in there. Then you look at the main headline on the page, Lose Weight Now, it's in there. And then you look at the heading is Proven Weight Loss Systems. So what you're getting is a flavor that this content must be about weight loss and losing weight. The Google bot is seeing this, and this is a very competitive word, losing weight. You'll see that there's a very clean mobile site for it. You'll see that a lot of the content throughout the page is talking about weight loss. And then finally, you'll see, which is important here, the picture that we use, and this is extremely important. Justin Tamsit from the Fitness Industry Technology Summit brought this up and asked me, is yes, every single picture that we put on our site, we create a URL for it with the, Lose Weight Dublin. You'll see Lose Weight Dublin, and there's alt text. What basically alt text is, Google cannot read an image. Google cannot read an image, but you can put alternate text in there that says this image is about lose weight at Dublin weight loss centres. So now it can read what's on the picture. It's saying, okay, the picture they're telling me is about weight loss. The page title is about weight loss. The URL is about weight loss. They've got a weight loss headline. They've got weight loss content, and there's a nice clean version for a website. They give you a lot of kudos for that, and they're more likely to move you up in the rankings. Another thing I would show you here is a lot of people look at our site and say, wow, you have so much content. And then a lot of people who don't know marketing or don't understand digital marketing will turn around and say, nobody reads long copy. Here's the bad news. You may think nobody reads long copy, even though they do. If you've been in marketing for a long time, people do read long copy. And you read things, people don't read this and people don't read that. The problem is Google reads your copy. And the average first place result contains approximately 1,890 words. So you do need to write good content. It has to have the right keywords in it. You have to have the right headlines. And what you need to think is every single page on your website look at it as a standalone website targeting a specific market, written specifically for them, with the idea that that page appears on Google as opposed to the whole website. Just think of that. If you have 10 pages, look at them as 10 different. And remember, you can have as many pages as you like on a website. It doesn't cost you any more money except for the fact that you have to write the copy, which I do for a lot of clients. So that gives you an idea, which leads me to the next thing is, and again, we can learn from what people do in other industries. We run our company very much studying the hotel industry, the entertainment industry, the car industry, the insurance industry. What do they do in sales and marketing? If the truth be known, I never look at what another health club does. I never look at what another gym does. For 30 years, I've studied what other industries have done and then brought that to our company. We certainly don't look at what other clubs do. But if you look at here, the most effective digital marketing techniques according to marketers worldwide in 2018, and you'll see things there like social media marketing is number 4, mobile marketing number 6, search engine optimization, online PR, and you'll see all these things. Artificial intelligence and machine learning is a big thing now. Again, a nice phrase that likes to make things a lot more complicated than they are. But number one, content marketing. And content marketing is the idea that if you write more and more content, you can target more markets, you'll do better with Google. So if somebody decides, if I have a page, and I'll give you an example, weight training for rugby. Now that's not going to make me rich, but I want to make sure that if anybody is typing in searches weight training for rugby, I want to make sure that I'm on page 1, number 1. So I simply write a really good content about weight training for rugby. What's the best way to do weight training for rugby, and do all that, write the content. But here's the beauty. Once you have it up on your website, it's done. And it's like real estate. It's there, and it's a nice trickle of business coming in all the time and leads. And that is why more and more people now, even though it's difficult, is moving on to blogging as a part of their website. And that's where you put up more and more of these articles. One thing that you need to remember with blogging is, it is one thing to say we should have a blog. It is another thing to say that we update that blog with new content every few days, every week. The truth is that if you're going to have a blog, you're probably better off to hire a journalist or somebody on a retainer and say, look, write us 2 articles a week. I'll give you the topics and the headlines, and you write them. Because if you're running your personal training studio or your health club or your chain of clubs, you have 1,000 other things to do. And are you really going to spend every Monday writing content? So it's something to think about. And here's the unfortunate thing: the vast majority of content produced on the internet remains unread, unwatched, unseen, and unheard. So it is like building a dump. And they call it that. You just have to keep dumping this content, but you'll get a little bit of business here, a little bit of business there, but you'll stay ahead of the competition if you keep just creating good content. Which really, when they talk about content, it's just good articles about. If you think about it, who's your target market? What problems do they have? Do you have solutions? And write around that and you'll be fine. Here's how to reduce blood pressure, and here's how we help you, and things like that. The last thing is on this is links. The links basically is this, that if you own a health club or a gym and you have 2,000 different websites linking into your website, okay, that's the first thing. You have 2,000 links. If a lot of them are very good quality links, which means they're coming from websites that represent very reputable organizations like government bodies, hospitals, universities, or whatever, that link into your website, Google see that your site is a very reputable site. If it's been around a long time, a lot of people, you get a lot of kudos for that, and you certainly move up the rankings. But, and here's the big but, it can be one of the most tedious and time-consuming tasks in website marketing, is going out there and getting links from other companies. And it's a completely, different seminar that I'll do someday. But if you ever get the chance, try and get people to link in. And usually it is, believe it or not, a matter of asking people to do it, write to people to do it, make sure you've got great content that people want to do it. What you shouldn't do is buy links. Google will see it a mile away, and they will penalize you for that. Pay-per-click, and this is the other side. So here with Google Ads, you're not getting up there for organic listings or search engine optimization. You're getting up there because you're prepared to pay to be on number 1. So what we're looking at here is, here's an example, Hotels New York. you'll see the AD there. They're ads for hotels in New York that appear above the organic listings. If people, here's an interesting one for you. People say, oh, do people click in those ads? Absolutely, they do. Ad spending in search advertising segments amounts to 109 billion in 2019. 109 billion in 2019. And here's the thing about pay-per-click advertising. You only pay when somebody clicks. So if you want to know how many people click, well, 109 billion worth of clicks in 2019. And it's making Google very rich. So it's similar to what you do with SEO. Someone types in exercise to lose weight, we've paid to appear on the top of Google for that. If someone types in lose stomach fat, we've paid to appear for that. If someone types in how to get a six-pack, we've paid to appear in the top of Google there. Weight loss tips, we pay to appear in the top of Google. We currently have a manager account with 11,257 keywords and phrases, divided up into 703 ad groups with 689 advertisements, and that's done us for the last couple of years. The way Google are doing things now, the good news is going to make it a lot easier. But again, I don't have enough time to go into that. But basically, Google are doing things where you don't have to do as many key phrases and keywords. And then when you set up the campaign, what happens is you'll start to see which keywords are doing well and which other ones don't do well. So you can take keywords out. It's just becoming a lot easier. But what I will say to you is it has been very, very profitable for us. Just for those that don't know, the way Google AdWords works is that you pay per click. So you say, I want to appear up there for, I don't know, bodybuilding gym in Sydney. And if someone types in bodybuilding gym in Sydney, if they see your ad and don't click on it, you don't pay. If they see your ad and they do click on it, you pay. Now, just keep in mind with pay-per-click advertising is it's not cheap. Okay, the average cost per click across all industries, hotel industry, fitness industry, insurance industry, car industry, is approximately $2.69 American. We manage ours to keep it down below $1.91. Okay, and a lot of that comes down to working with your Google people and just, not overpaying, which you can, and you're looking at the keywords that are cheap, but get you business. The average, and this is what's very important when we're going to come back and we're doing kind of full circle here, the average cost per action across all industries. Now, when we talk about call per action, if you're selling membership online, an action is they buy membership. If you're trying to get leads online, an action is that you've got a name, telephone number, and email. But the average cost is $48.96, so you're talking about $49. So you need to remember that if you're a budget club that's only charging $20 a month and you're only getting 8 or 9 months out of a member, that's just to get the lead. You could end up spending far more money on Google Ads than you actually get from the membership, so you have to really manage that. For us, what makes this profitable is, I've said it 100 times, is we have a very, very sophisticated, well-practiced, well-thought-out, well-managed sales system. You get in front of our salespeople, we sell membership to 72% of all those people, 73%. Once we get you into the club, you're going to buy membership. We certainly would never sell that online. Not everybody agrees with that, but I certainly would never sell membership online at our price. The other thing that can certainly get you up in Google is video marketing. And video marketing is where you produce a video and you go online and you hope people will see that video and hopefully they'll like it and decide to maybe do some business with you. The king of video marketing at the moment is YouTube. A couple of stats about YouTube just to kind of give you an idea where this is going. 27%, these are some startling figures, 27% of internet users worldwide access YouTube at least once per day, and what they're talking about in the last few months. So you're talking over a quarter of all internet users go on YouTube at least once a day. That's phenomenal. The second one, 66% of YouTube users watch YouTube on a second screen while watching TV at home. YouTube has just boomed in the last few years. As a result of this, 48% of marketers plan to add YouTube to their content strategy in 2018. I love to see this because I know this sounds like I know everything when I don't. I'm usually way ahead of these people. I was using YouTube marketing for years. And it's phenomenal, because the thing about YouTube marketing is, 10 years ago, if you tried to produce a video, you needed a budget of probably 30 to 45,000 to produce any sort of a decent video. Now you can do it on your iPhone and get it up there and get it out. It doesn't cost you anything. But you can't pay to obviously advertise videos, which brings us up to the next slide here. In 2016, we're talking 3 years ago, YouTube advertising was bringing in 5.6 billion. 2018, it was up to 9.1 billion. We're talking about 2020, in 4 years growth, 11.8 billion is what they estimate they'll take in YouTube advertising. Google own YouTube, just remember that, so they don't compete with each other, and there's a huge drive from Google to push YouTube advertising, and this is the time to get in on it. There's not very competitive, it's cheap, and if you have good videos, you can get your ads up there, and you only pay when people actually watch the video, so it's a great way of building awareness and branding. Just to break a thing up a little bit for those that want to see, for the sake of it, if you've never heard of this in Australia, I certainly have never seen it. But anyway, this is the #1 YouTube channel. It's T-Series. You have to go online. It's 100 million subscribers to its channel on YouTube. It is the #1. To give you an idea, they got 2.9 billion views in April in 2019, and it's a Bollywood type of website with music and films and everything else, but there you go, if you do it right. The next thing for you to get on YouTube and do well, so again, remember this, many times when you type something into YouTube, you want to appear on page 1 for your gym, your health club, your personal training studio, and how do you get there? Well, I did say earlier, you are what Google says you are. So if you're the best club in town and Google believe you're the best club in town, when someone says, give me the best club in Sydney, you'll appear. Google make that decision. And the thing is, with YouTube, you are also what YouTube says you are. So again, I'm using our clubs as an example. And again, very few have really jumped on this. My advice is get in on this now, because within 2 to 3 years, everybody will be doing it. So if you look at the best gym in Dublin, so you type that into YouTube, and people do that, you can check it out, you will see that we will appear twice on page 1 of YouTube listings. If you type the best fitness class studios in Dublin, we dominate the page when it comes to Google. Now again, here's the thing is, that on its own, will it get us all the business we need to survive and make money? Probably not, but it's just a trickle of business coming in from YouTube. People see that. With that many, they're bound to click on a video. It's building awareness, it's building branding, and then they go to our website, and hopefully then they click and say, here's my name, telephone number, and email. I want to go in and do a 4-day pass. We've got you in our database. The best fitness classes in Dublin, again, we're up there, in the top 2. The best personal training in Dublin, we're up there, 1, 2, and 3. And the great thing about YouTube is some of our videos are appearing for several different search terms, but once those videos are done, you've got the real estate. You just keep pumping it out. The best group fitness class in Dublin, you go the best health classes in Ireland, or the best health clubs in Ireland, we dominate the first Google page. This is page 1, YouTube. This is page 1 of YouTube. When you put those terms in, we're dominating the page. Now, of course, the thing is, and I will say this, you've got to have videos. You can certainly do videos with your iPhone. I prefer personally to do professional videos. And I, worked with the same videographer for many years. She is not cheap, she's expensive, but she was cheap when I first got her, and she produces great videos. And again, when they're done well, you need to think about what type of a club you want to present, who's your target market, and why you do that. But just, I'm not even so sure if sound will come out on this, but you'll just see very quickly the type of videos that we do. Just to let you see, we're trying to show the vastness of the club. This is when it was kind of going young, trendy, and we had a deliberate reason behind what we did.
Don't touch the ball, it's over, call it close, but we all know what this is gonna be. You came and failed the test, you met the best, expected chess, but got monopoly. I came and bought you out, I knocked you out, I cropped you out with no apologies. I am the hope, the heart, the faith, the spark, the one who will fulfill the prophecy. I just been counting, never lounging, climbing up mountains, bouncing back, step in the ring, about you step back, they'll learn how.
So that will hopefully give you a taste of the type of videos we do. The next thing you'll see on our digital marketing strategy, which a lot of people are doing now, is the concept of retargeting. And I'll just give you a simple example of a retargeting campaign without spending a huge amount of time on it. But an example would be as someone types in bodybuilding gym. So you type that in, they're in Dublin, and what happens is, again, we appear 3 times in the page. The only fitness club, gym, health club that appears 3 times on page 1 of Google. So our goal is that hopefully you'll click on one of them and land on our bodybuilding page. And we're hoping that you will go and click on the free 4-day pass. By the way, the purple arrow is just to show you it's not part of the website. So we would hope that you would do that. Of course, you may not do that. But you've been on our website, so you leave our website. So the concept of retargeting is this, that if you've been on our website, what I know is that if you're looking for a bodybuilding gym, you may read these type of magazines, Muscle and Fitness with these type of things. And I know that Muscle and Fitness have a website. Now here's the thing is, if you were on our site here, and then at a later date you went on to the Muscle and Fitness website, here's what happens. We have ads appear there. That's retargeting. We know it's you that's on that Muscle and Fitness site, or we've done it, it's what the certain pixels that we'd use, and those ads appear. That's why you'll see sometimes, if you've ever been a website and you're trying to figure out that you were looking up to buy a new kitchen table, for the next 2 weeks, ads for kitchen tables keep appearing everywhere. That's retargeting, and it's getting more and more advanced than what you can do from that. The next thing I talk about is dominating search, and dominating search is this. Let me give you an example. When a Google page, what we call about a SERP, a search engine response page, that's when you hit that enter key and the listing comes up, organic listings and ads. You typed in kitchen table, hit the enter key, and companies that sell kitchen tables appeared up on the page 1 of Google, and you look at them and you choose to click on 1 or 2. What you do is you usually click on the first one, the second, the third, maybe an ad. That's it. You might go down, but rarely. So an example of dominating the page is that many times Google will put up a couple of videos on that first page. They might put up a local listings on that page, and they'll put up an ad on that page, and they'll also might put up these organic listings. If you can appear up there with a video, an image and everything else, you're starting to dominate the page. It's very difficult for a potential customer not to look at you. So here's an example. Around one of our clubs we have some big companies, Salesforce, Microsoft, Bank of America, and there's a very upmarket private hospital. These were in a short distance from us. For many years, you would have to try and get into these companies to do corporate deals. I've stopped a lot of that. So what I do now is I know there's lots of people in there, they work there, going to look for something in the locality. So that area is what, if you can pronounce it, called Leopardstown. So what I do is, if you put in Health Club Leopardstown, we will dominate that page 1. And so if there's people that have moved into those companies or working in those companies and they're looking for a health club or gym locally, we will dominate the page, and they will go there and hopefully they will go for 12. There's Gym Leopardstown, and again you'll see we'll dominate the page. Okay, so we have an ad at the top, we're in the local listings, and we own the first 3 organic listings, so we dominate that page. Now what is important here, Leopardstown has probably 15, 16 different health clubs and gyms where we're dominating the page. That's the important thing. Another one would be ladies only gym. Again, we're not a ladies only gym. There's loads of them in the area. We dominate page 1. We're for years ahead of curves and everything else. So that's the idea of dominating the page. We're using video, we're using imagery, we're using great website to really persuade Google through certain tactics and strategies to put us on page 1. So we move on to social media. Now, I will spend a little bit of time on this, but not too much, because we're just tipping the top here to see what a company can do. The first thing I will say about social media is there's a very good book by Philip Kotler, the famous marketing guru, called Marketing 4. And there's a very good quote in it. And probably, to be honest with you, he just articulates it better than most people who've actually taught it. And what he says is this, and it's so true: in no other area is an organization's lack of business focus more evident than in social media. So what he's saying is people are jumping into social media without any thought about what they're trying to achieve or what their focus is or what they want to do. They're just telling people to post stuff on on social media channels and hope for the best. The second quote is, companies see social media as confusing and overwhelming necessity. So they just have heard so much about it, they feel they have to do it, but they're completely confused about it as to how they're supposed to do it. I remember being in front of a client once, and they were asked about social media, and they're really confused about it. And I said to them, what you need with social media is you need an index finger and need an enter key. And they looked at me and I said, that's it. You put something up, a picture, a video, words, and you hit an enter key. That's it. You do not need to agree. But what you do need to know is, why are you putting up what you put up, and what content are you putting up, and have you a goal with that content? So many feel you have to post every day, and maybe you do, but you really need to think about why you're doing it and what you're doing it for, and you're getting a return on your investment. It's because of that confusion, and most people will say most research is showing that 45% of marketers think that their Facebook efforts are effective. That's 55% think it's not. And the reason is there's just so much confusion over what way to do it. And that's why I will tell people that I call social media devil's playground for amateur marketeers. And what do I mean when I say it's the devil's playground for amateur marketeers? And it's this: the great thing about social media is anybody can use it. The major disadvantage of social media is that anybody can use it. If you have an index finger and an enter key on your keyboard, you could post on social media. You don't need to print anything. You don't need to, pay for it. That's it. And that's why you get this stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I mean, has anybody thought about why what they're trying to do? So it is very easy to put stuff up, but you really need to stop and say, what is the social media strategy and what are we trying to achieve? A couple of stats which I like to give about social media. You're going to hear a lot you hear a lot about Facebook is dying and Instagram is in and WhatsApp's in and Snapchat is this. If you look at the stats, that'll tell you where you need to be. There's lots of very clever people around the world pouring lots of money in to different channels and different mediums. They get it wrong. But many times they are, after a couple of years, have done a lot of research into what works. So sometimes this, again, when I repeat, is look at what major companies outside the fitness industry are doing. So here you go. The most important social media platforms for marketeers worldwide as of January 2018. There you go. So when people say Facebook is on the wane, it's not. 67% see it as the most important social media platform, marketeers worldwide. Now, that may change slightly over the years, but you can see the other ones, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter, are certainly a lot lower than Facebook. The leading social media platforms used by marketeers January, so this is a year later, you can still see Facebook has gone up to 94%. So that what they're saying is, the leading social media platforms used by marketeers this January, Facebook was number 1 at 94, Instagram 73, Twitter 59, LinkedIn 58, YouTube 54. So they're using them more and more, but still Facebook is the leading one. And you can see why. Social media active users in 2018, with over 2 billion active users, Facebook holds the majority market share. So in the social media arena, Facebook still holds the vast majority of the market. Now you can look at which is incredible, is you've got WhatsApp there, you've got Facebook Messenger there, and you've got Instagram there. We'll talk about that in a second. So you can see the other ones that are there, but definitely Facebook is leading the way. And when we come to 2019, if we include that, you'll see the incredible growth in Facebook. In 2008, they had 100 million active users. By 2019, that has gone to nearly 2.4 billion. So in the previous slide, you saw, just over 2 billion. It's now gone to 2.4 billion. So what you're looking at, Facebook is still a huge player in the social media market, the biggest by far. And I personally think they're going to still hold that power for a long time. And here's why. Facebook have money, very deep pockets. If a competitor comes along, they will simply buy it. Let's look. This was a social media channel that Facebook in 2009 paid 47 million for, and I don't think ever used it again. This is another one in 2014. They paid $500 million for. Okay, $500 million for. I don't think I've ever seen it ever since again. In 2012, for Instagram, they paid $1 billion. So when people talk about Facebook is it under, it's not. I mean, Facebook is just buying everything up. And we'll talk about the second why. In 2014, they paid 19 billion for WhatsApp. And here's the thing. Last month, 2.7 billion people used at least one of Facebook's core products. 2.7 billion people use one of their products. So Facebook is still there. It's going to be there for a long time. It's a very powerful company, and it has access to a huge amount of potential customers for businesses. And doing advertising on social media, Facebook is not that difficult. You can produce ads like this very easily. Great pictures, a little bit of content, have them directed to your website, and off you go. What are the advantages of Facebook advertising? Facebook advertising we're talking about here, where you pay Facebook to target specific people. Well, number one, there is no other advertising platform with the targeting capabilities that Facebook offers. So with Facebook advertising, now we're running out of time, so we won't get through all this. There is no other advertising platform with the targeting capabilities that Facebook offers. And when you talk about targetability, what we're talking about, who can you target? Number one, you can target people within a few miles of your club. You can say, I want to target people within this geographical area. You can target people who like something. And again, you do this within the Facebook advertising management tools. You can target people who like people. So you can target people who like gyms. You can target people who are friends with or like people who like gyms. You can actually target your own members through Facebook advertising. You can target your sales leads through Facebook advertising. You can target the friends of members who live nearby. You can decide to target people who like Britney Spears. You can be crazy and target teenage Trump supporters in New York. You can target whoever you like. And the reason that you can do that is, again, server farms. That this is a Facebook server farm. And basically what happens is they have information on those 2.4 billion people. They have their names, their emails, what they like, what they dislike, what they talk about, what their jobs are, what they earn, whether they have babies or whatever. They really have a vast amount of information. And what you're paying Google is, you're paying them for the information that's stored in those server farms. And that's how you can target people. The other thing about Facebook advertising, which was a big challenge for mobile marketing for a long time, was that Facebook were the only company that were putting full screen display advertising in front of mobile users. So you flicking through your mobile phone, Facebook was the only company that could actually put ads on the mobile phone in front of you. Of course, that's no longer. LinkedIn is also putting full screen display advertising in front of mobile users. The great thing about Facebook advertising is because of scrolling, attention is guaranteed. You're scrolling through your mobile phone, those ads there. Do you stop? No, but you see the ads. If you're watching TV, you can leave the room, but if you're scrolling through your Facebook, you have to scroll. And because of that, they create awareness even when people don't click on those ads. So as they're scrolling, even if they don't click on those ads, they're seeing your brand. And that's the whole secret of advertising: build awareness, build branding, and someday they might click on it. Another amazing tool with Facebook advertising is what we call custom audiences. And Custom audiences are this. You have Facebook. You can create an audience that you can target specifically through Facebook. An example would be is we have 243,000 leads in our database. I can create a file with those 243,000 leads, put it into Facebook, and usually you get a 30 to 70% match. So basically, if I have 50,000 leads, okay, I can put that into Facebook, and Facebook will recognize 30 to 70% of those people and say, yes, here's their profiles on Facebook. And what I would do then is call that, the Westwood Leads file, and I can target those people through Facebook advertising. So basically, if you're one of those people, I can put an ad up that appears in your feed. You can also do what's called lookalike audiences. So if I've created a member audience, I can go to Facebook and say, here's our member audience. I want to create a lookalike audience, and Facebook can look at our our leads profile and say the vast majority of them live in this area, they're men, they earn this much money, or whatever they know about them, and create another one that is quite similar, and I can target those people as well. So we're targeting people that are similar to the leads we already have. Now, you may or may not want to do that. That's up to you. And that's how it works. You use your database of customers that you have internally. You upload it to Facebook. It creates a file of those people, or 30 to 70% of them, and you can target them with ads. And you can decide, well, actually the ads we're targeting them with are actually working quite well. What if there were other people out there like those people, and Facebook will create a lookalike audience for you. The other thing you can do with Facebook is you can do what's called split testing, which was always a difficult thing to do for years. So you would do ads, and you create two of the ads. And what happens is you measure which one is getting the better response. And then you run with that ad, and then you can do another split test and see the next ad, is that doing better, and so forth. Here's an example of what we call a multivariate testing ad, and it was done by Mr. Obama, and you can see he's done 6 ads there, and what he did is he ran them at the same time, and what they would do is test those ads, and he found out this got the best response. Now, I'm only showing you this because everybody knows him, but just to show you the impact that can have. The sign-up rate went from 8.2% to 11.6%. That was a 40% improvement. He got, nearly 3 million more email addresses, 60 million more in donations. So running this kind of A/B testing, multivariate testing, where you run 2 ads or 3 ads or 4 ads at the same time, send them out and see which gets the best response, then pick that and use that as your main ad. Keep doing that until you decide to test that against another ad, and so forth and so forth. Another great tool, which is really, if you're into Facebook advertising, you're going to have to use, is the Facebook Pixel. And the Facebook Pixel is an amazing tool. It's a piece of code that Facebook will give you. You get your developer or whatever to put this on all the pages on your website. And then what happens is it tracks people who come to your website. Again, we don't have enough time to go into it, but it is the backbone of successful Facebook advertising. So if you are on my Facebook, you click on an ad, you come to my website, you don't do what I want you to do, you don't register a guest pass, I can start targeting you through Facebook because you were on our site and the code told me you were on our site, and we can create targeted ads specifically for you. The other thing to remember is when you get into Facebook advertising, and it's this, the reason Facebook is so affordable is that it's self-service. So when you do Facebook advertising, you're not doing it, unless you decide to do it through an agency, you do need to learn how to use it. And it can be, the reason it's not as expensive, a lot of old advertising, is you do it yourself, but you do need to learn how to use it. And again, the great thing is you can just look online and see some amazing ads that you can copy. Everybody's doing it. So play around with that. Instagram, we don't have enough time to go into Instagram in great detail, but just for the sake of it, I decided to show you what people get paid as influencers on Instagram. Here's a gentleman called Lazar Angelov. For every post he puts up that's sponsored, he gets $9,500 US. Next is this young lady, Summer Ray. She gets $29,000 per sponsored post. Mr. McGregor from Dublin in Ireland up the road gets 125,000 per post. And The Rock gets 650,000 per post. This beautiful lady here gets 700,000 per post. This gentleman here, 750,000 per post. And the queen of Instagram, unbelievably, when you go to her and say, will you drink my can of energy drink, smile and say that you were just drinking it because you like it, we'll pay her 1 million. So there you go. Very quickly, to move on to website optimization. What does that mean? It means creating a website that gets people to do what you want to do, which is hopefully fill out your lead forms and give you their name, telephone number and email so that you can follow them up and get them into your club. A couple of things that you need to know, and all the research shows this, and it's important to know it, that when people land on your website, they stay on your home page for approximately 30 seconds. Your whole website for about 105 seconds. There's about a 12% chance that they'll ever come back to your website, and they are one click away from your competition. So what that means is when they land on your website, you need to really look, what do I do to get them on the website, keep them on the website, and get them to do what I need them to do? What's my goal? I want their name, telephone, and number, email so that I can target them. The first thing is, and it's the number one rule, do not ignore web convention and usability rules. There are basic rules that you shouldn't change because people are used to how to use websites. Make sure you have, don't decide that you're going to put a scrolling bar in the middle, or don't decide that you're going to put something somewhere unusual on a website. Stick to the basic rules. Secondly, your site should identify your product quickly. So I think don't have something obscure that people have to figure out what the hell is this website about. So there's an example of a very good website. Within a split second, you know what they sell. Within a split second, you know what they sell. Within a split second, you know what they sell. So that's a good website. You land on it, split second. I know what they sell. I know what the website's about. It's not confusing. The next thing is, and a lot of people this get wrong, very good usability. You know where the different links are. You can see where things are. That's very important. And if you want to get that right, here's what I'd say to most people. Do not study gym or health club sites. I never studied gym or health club sites. I know this sounds terrible, but they're not that good. So I tend to study, when I'm putting sites together, the great shopping sites, Macy's, Blue Nile, JCPenney. These people make their money selling products. They've been doing this, selling products through direct marketing and direct mail and, point of sale displays. They know what catches people's attention. Look at those sites as opposed to fitness club websites. With regard to how your website works, there's a thing called eye tracking software. Companies do this. You can buy inexpensive eye tracking software, but it will tell you how people interact with your website. So just a couple of things when you do a website to be aware of. Number one is banner blindness. Be very careful of putting too many ads on web pages because all the research shows, all of it, nobody looks at them, very few people even glance at them, and they've learned to avoid them completely, even subconsciously don't look at it. And what eye tracking software does, it shows you. So here's an example of a website. So someone put a lot of attention to that picture, and yet all the attention is going to the words, which proves that people do read the words. They're not looking at the pictures, they're reading the words. And over again, when people use eye tracking software, there again, they're looking at the words and hardly glancing at the picture. They don't even look at the $500 offer that's there. Not even glancing at that. Here's another one. They look up to the right, they look at the bottom. They're not even looking at the picture, not even looking at the headline. The reason is that when things look like ads, people tend not to read it. So you will still want your picture and you want a simple ad, and you want good headlines, but people don't spend as long looking at them as you did designing them. As far as how people read websites, one of the primary way people read websites is the F sequence. And what it means is people tend to look at websites like this. Look down and to the right like that, what's called the F plan. They look like that. An example would be, and if I give it to you on a website, you'll see here, we've designed our website so we know how people are going to read it in the F. So discover more than just the gym, lose weight, get fit, the 4-day pass, down Westwood clubs. They tend to look in that way. The same way there, that 4-day plan is in perfect place where people can see it, and the clubs underneath. And again, here you'll see over to the headline, it's fitness the future. So that idea, that's how people tend to read, and they look less as they move down the page. And again, you'll see there, she's in the right place, get slim and body shape, and a free 4-day pass. As we move along very quickly, you have to have your mobile version of the website, because that will help you with Google, and as well as that, people won't read it if it's the desktop version on the website. The next thing we want to look at very, very quickly, and we are running out of time, is marketing automation. And when we talk about marketing automation, this is again, when you get your leads, when you get your thing, how do you get those people to buy membership? How do you get them to your club? What's the next step? And this is where marketing automation is coming to play in the whole digital marketing arena. What I will say to you is this is, generally marketing automation software falls into these type of categories. CRM, which is customer relation management, but let's be honest, it's sales management software. So you had things years ago like Act and things like that. But so customer relation management software, you have marketing automation software, which is software that automates all those marketing things that would take forever if you were to do them manually. Sending out automated emails, sending out automated text, scheduling people, salespeople to do certain tasks. So marketing automation. Web intelligence is a relatively new addition to all of that, whereby if you have lots of people in your we have 230 people in our database. We want to know they're not members yet. Where they're looking at our website, how long did they spend on our website, what pages do they look on our website, how often have they been in there, are they ready to call again? So that's web intelligence. Social media integration. Analytics is becoming part of this, where you're measuring everything. Telephony integration, whereby you can set up call centers and it records are people actually being phoned, setting up calls. The whole thing of chatbots have come into this, where there's automatic responses. All of this is forming what we call the whole sales management automation industry. The last point I should show you there, is, and this is very important, if this is not supporting sales, if it's not supporting the sales process and making it more profitable and making it more effective, it's just software. Still, for us, the whole thing is, it is support for our sales teams to sell more membership. It's not replacing it. It is support for those sales teams and making them more efficient. This part of the industry, just to give you an idea, in 2011, there was 150 products in the whole sales, CRM, marketing automation area. Today, there is 7,000 products. So it's tough to choose what to use. Two I'll talk about is CRM software or marketing automation software. Some players in the industry you'll have heard about: HubSpot, Infusionsoft, Salesforce, Dynamics, Nimble, Pipedrive, Zoho, and an industry specific one, which is gym sales. We currently use Microsoft Dynamics and Click Dimensions. So just to give you an idea, Microsoft Dynamics is the CRM version. Marketing automation manages all the marketing automated side of things. So email marketing, SMS messaging, landing pages, surveys, all of the different things that automate the marketing process. The most important one I love is web tracking. Now I'm going to very quickly show you ever so slightly the power of this when it's put in place properly. This is a landing page on the left, get your free 4-day trial membership. She fills that out, she goes directly into our database. On the next slide here, you will see at the type there, website leads, Clontarf. That's just one club. In 7 days, the very bottom there, you'll see it up 227 new leads in 7 days for one club. Now, the reason I have it blocked out in the grey in the background, we protect the details of our leads and members. So 227 leads for one club. Here is the new sales leads. This it was whatever date I took this. So it wasn't the end of the month. It might have been halfway through the month or whatever. And you'll see again there for 6 clubs, 1,594 leads. So this is lead generation on autopilot. That basically means this works in the background. The people put their name, telephone numbers, emails in. And then what actually happens is our salespeople are busy all day calling those leads. That's the first thing that happens. They call them. And then they're going to use emailing and texting, and a lot of it's automated in the background. But one goal and one goal only, to get those people to visit the club. So that's where you have the CRM system collecting the details, you have the marketing automation and the happening in the background. And then where it's really getting more advanced is you see what we call web intelligence. So what is web intelligence? So you're going to see there, here are people who are leads that came into our database. The reason you see the name is that is telling us what pages he's been looking at on our website. Now, this is just so powerful. We know what pages he's been looking at our website. We know when he viewed it. And we can see the different pages and that. And we can decide to, when we talk to him, how serious is this guy about this? An example would be there you'll see birthday party venue. We know that these people on the left hand side have been looking at our birthday parties page because we do a lot of kids' birthday parties. Now, this is the power of this stuff. These people are in our database. They've been looking at the birthday party pages. We know when, we know how many times they looked at it, how often. So if you look at here, this lady here, she looked at it 2 days in a row at the birthday party venue pages. She's red hot to book a birthday party. We can click on that. There's her details, her email, her telephone number. When she came into the database, we can contact her. We have that information. Here's another one, adult swimming lessons. So somebody's been looking at the adult swimming lessons. We go to one of those leads. We click on it. We have his telephone number and thing. We have all the details we need about that person and what they were looking at. Here again, people looking at the beauty salon. We can go into one of them and we know who's been looking at the beauty salon. So what we're doing is we're getting people into the CRM system. We're setting up marketing automation with automated emails, automated text, everything. But we also now have this third dimension where we know what they're looking at on our website, and that gives us a lot of information we'd never have had before. There's kids tennis camps. Again, we know these people are looking at the kids tennis camps. We can target them with specific offers. We can even link that into Facebook. The other thing I'll say about industry specific CRM, the CRM systems we used are very, very advanced. They take a lot of work. You're looking at a project 6, 7, 8 months, 9 months, heavy investment, but extremely powerful, a huge competitor advantage in the market. It keeps us way ahead of the competition, and it provides us with a database that's just invaluable to us. But, and I'd say this, that's a big jump. There's a lot of industry specific CRM, gym sales, there's other ones that, probably wouldn't be advanced, but would suit 90% of clubs starting off for a year or two. Absolutely fine. Finally, the finish is, and this went on a lot longer than I thought, is some digital tools that will help you with your digital marketing. The first one is keyword research tools. And what the hell is keyword research tools? If you go back to the SEO thing and the pay-per-click ads, the first thing you need to think is, what keywords do I want to target? Gyms, health clubs, swimming pools, personal training, cheap personal trainers, losing weight, getting fit, toning up. Is there really an interest in those keywords? How often do people actually go online and type those in? So an example would be budget gyms near me. And you want to research how big a search term is that? How valuable a search term is that? Do I want to pay Google for this? Am I prepared to go to Google and say, when someone types in budget gyms near me, I want my ad to appear. If they click it, I'm prepared to give you $1. So what you need to look at is, how much is the demand for that and how much would it cost me? So there's a couple of, that's one. Word Tracker is a piece of software you pay. You can put budget gyms near me. There's another one, SEM Rush, Search Engine Marketing. Rush is another one. These are paid for ones. But look, I use Google Keyword Planner. It's free, does everything I need. It's linked in with Google. Starting off, it's more than anybody could need, and you can have great fun doing research on it, and not just for your digital marketing, but your marketing in general. And you can get a real insight to what's happening in the market and what do people want. An example would be this. I'm going to do some keyword research on these phrases: fitness classes, group fitness, aerobic fitness, Pilates, step aerobics, yoga, and yoga classes. So what I would do is I go into my keyword planner. It's free with Google, particularly if you have an account. A little bit of tricking around to get into it, but it's fine. You can play around with it. So the first thing I would do is I pick the United States. You can pick any country, any part of a country. I can do Dublin, but we'll just pick the United States. And I take those keywords, sorry, let's go back here, and I pop them in: fitness classes, group fitness, aerobic classes, Pilates, step aerobics, yoga, and yoga classes. So I pop them in there, and you'll see up there they are. And when I hit the enter key, here's what happens. It tells me the average monthly searches, what the competition is for those. So is there a lot of competition out there for the word yoga classes? You would hope it's low, because if there's less competition, you're more likely going to appear on page one and higher up on page one. And if there's low competition, well, you won't have to pay as much for the clicks, because the way it works is that Google say the word yoga classes, if you want to appear on page one of yoga, it's basically an auction. Gym A is prepared to pay $1, Gym B is prepared to pay $1.20, somebody else is prepared to $2, they're more likely to appear up there. There are other variables, but generally a lot of it comes down to what you're prepared to pay, and what the competition is like. And you'll see some of these be more competitive. I'll just blow this up for you. So there's a couple of things there. So let's just look at, you can see here is the number of times that term is searched for in the US, the competition for that search term, and what you would pay, $2.25 to $8.85 for fitness classes. So it's low, it's dear enough that you pay for a click. But if you look, and this is what's startling, and I've been seeing this happening a lot, you see the word yoga, 368,000 searches, way above anything else. The competition is low, and you can get a click for 88 cents. So that's something to go after. But even more importantly, when you see the level of interest in yoga, this is people searching for that. If you're not doing yoga at your fitness club, you seriously need to think about doing yoga. The demand for it is huge. This is the public typing this in, not the opinion of fitness experts or not the opinion of industry experts. The actual public out there around your club. This is who's searching for yoga and Pilates. Another one here is, again, you can do little bits of anybody starting out in the industry. You know, the word gym, the word health club, and the word group fitness. When you work in the industry, you'll see everybody say we're in the club industry, the health club industry, and the group fitness industry. But here's the thing, is the public using those words when they search for what we have to offer? So you put your enter key in, and you can see there that group fitness is not used as much as you'd think it would. We in the industry use the word group fitness, so we write articles about group fitness. But people aren't searching for the term group fitness. However, and you look at health club, 12,100, 823,000 are using the word gym to search for what we offer. So what you need to say to yourself is, if you keep using the word, we're in the club industry, which is fine, but yet the vast majority are going to the gym. They're looking for the gym. Now that's the word they're using when they search online. Is 823 for gym. Another one, the type of classes that you have. So again, you need to think about, what should I offer, and where is there a lot of searches for that? So if I look here, I've typed in there, group fitness, exercise during pregnancy, aerobic, yoga, weightlifting for women, Les Mills, Pilates, Les Mills. So I want to see is, where is there a lot of business? Every day, what are people searching for? And again, you can see the yoga, 368,000. Pilates 165,000. I don't want to do any damage to any brands out there, but you can see some of those other brands, they're not as searched for as often as people would think. Let's look at another one. Back pain exercise. Look at this. So back pain and exercises for back pain and exercises for lower back pain. There's a lot of people looking it up. Lower back pain. It's fairly cheap, 78 cents. The competition is not high. Exercises for lower back pain, 27,000. So we go after these back pain relief. Now all you would need to do is to appear on page one of Google for a lot of them is write 2,000 words on back pain and exercise and your injury rehab, whatever you do at your club. Write it really well, SEO it up with some good headlines, make sure you've good title on the page, add that to your website, and there's a very strong likelihood that you would appear for free in the organic listings. If you decide that you want to pay for a bit of AdWords, you'll see there that the exercise for lower back pain, its competition for that phrase is low and the cost is low. So there are things that you could target, and once it's set up, it's set up. Another thing again about studying what happened, we use in the industry, you can see here everybody's talking about the budget gym and the budget club, yet the word budget gym is practically never searched for in the US. Low cost gym, hardly searched for at all. Low cost membership, yet the word gym near me is 1 million searches, 1 million searches. So everybody's panicking about the budget club, but the truth is there's not that many people going online and typing in budget club or low cost gym membership. Now, don't get carried away. That does not mean there's a market. There's not a market for budget clubs. Of course there is. But it always astonished me is that us in the industry use a certain word, and yet the industry, the public don't use it. And again, you can see a lot of them there for weight loss and things. You can see, weight loss is still huge. Just huge. How to lose belly fat, 16 cents per click, low competition. You could write a 1,000-word article on how to lose belly fat, add it to your website, particularly your personal training studio, and Bob's your uncle. Okay, I'm going to skip through some of these now just to get through them, because there's lots there. The next thing is Google Analytics, and I think I may finish with that because we've gone way over time. Google Analytics is a tool I use all the time, and basically when you go into Google Analytics, something like this will pop up. What is Google Analytics? It's an analytics tool for analyzing your website, what people look at, what they don't look at, and it'll just help you keep improving your website, and give you an insight to what is important to the people who go to your website, what's important to your members. So what you can see here is you can see what's the pages that are most important to people, how long they spend on those pages. The bounce rate is whether people go on a page and leave immediately. It means that maybe there's no interest in that page or whatever. And you can see the ones we look at is, our free 4-day trial membership and a request a brochure, and they're well up there. So the 5th most looked at page is the free 4-day trial membership. 9,227. I think that's over a month, of which about 25% then are actually filling it in and sending it forward. You can see there for us, in a month, 38,000 people, went on 77,000 times. That's a lot of views for 6 clubs in Dublin. You can look at things like, in a day, nearly 1,700 people go onto the website. Over 7 days, it's 10,000. Over 14 days, it's 18,500. And over a month, 34,000 people look at the website. And other things that you can do as well is that you can look at different years. So the top one there is last year, and the bottom one is this year. It's just slightly different how they present them. That's Google for you. Keep changing things. So this is Google Analytics, free with Google. And you can see that our users have gone from 34,000 to nearly 38,000. That's a big jump in the last 12 months. You can see that the number of visits has gone from 64,000 to 77,133. 170,000 page views to 230,000 page views. What you're seeing here is improvement. That's all you need to see is improvement. Things are getting better and better with the things that we do, and that's very important. You just don't want it going the other way. Google Analytics for free. All of this is powerful stuff. It'll tell you the vast majority of people on our website are between the ages of 25 and 44. It'll tell you 36% are male and 64% are female. It'll tell you, literally that the vast majority are looking at our website on their mobile. Desktop next, practically nobody looking at it on tablet. It'll tell you that the main way of looking at mobile is the iPhone. 60% of people looking at our website on mobile, it's on an iPhone. Analytics will tell you that, the vast majority, which is good for us, are through organic searches as opposed to paid searches. You can see it there. So basically what that means is direct, if you see the third one down, means they typed in westwood.ie. Paid search was pay-per-click advertising. Organic searches, people typing in things like gyms locally, swimming pools locally, how to lose weight, how to get fit. So we're doing very well on that, and you can actually get the specific figures down there. Conversions, again, this is all set up. what we call a conversion, the number of leads we get. So we can see that we get a 3.23% conversion rate. So over 3% of everybody that goes to the website converts. That's what we're looking for, which gives us, as you see, in that month, what that must be May, you can see there it's far higher than 2,300. We got to nearly 2,500 leads that month. So again, it's very good. We know what we're doing, and we can again compare that to last year. So this was last year below 2.48%. So a lot of the improvements that we've made, it's now up to 3.23%. So we're seeing improvement. Last year we were getting just 1,557 leads. This year 2,490 leads. So again, everything's improving. We can look at the website at any time. Did this evening. There are 14 people on the website. We can know what pages they're looking at. And again, I just did this one to show people that, like, some of these key terms you think, is there really business in it? And here's one just to show you, to startle you. This was 9 people looking at the website. So you can click in. 67% were new people. They'd never been to the website before. 33% were on the website before. So out of those 9 people, here's what's startling. One of those searches came from ways to reduce blood pressure. They typed that in. Our website came up. They clicked on it, and that's why they're there now. The one before is incredible. Door frame exercise bar, and they landed on our site. And you can see for the blood pressure there, when they went to the web, they saw that. There was an ad there for lowering your blood pressure. They click on it. Another one is a tool, which is an incredible tool, is Google Trends. Again, just for anybody in the fitness industry, particularly people new, is what sort of product do you actually sell? Are you selling the right product that people want? So Google Trends is simple. You go here and you type in a term, and you can see, has there been a growth in that search term online? Are more and more people using that to search for things than they did 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago? So if you take gym near me, you can see the number of people using the term to search for something. Gym near me has just gone way through the roof. So in January the 1st, 2014, you see it here on the left hand side, it was used. But as time has moved on to 2018, more and more people are using that search term near me. So the thing is, you need to be conscious that if you want business, that a lot of people are searching for the thing gym near me. So the first thing you would do is go near your club or whatever and type in gym near me and see, does your club appear? If not, you would need to look at that. So just out of interest, there's term fitness tracker. You can see in late 2014 was when it really took off, and then it's kind of steady afterwards. Bodybuilding as a search term is declining. Why? I don't know. You can also compare things. So again, we'll go in here and we'll type in there Pilates, yoga and aerobics. And the reason that I would do this is not just for it is a great thing for SEO and digital marketing, but it also gives you an insight to what classes should you be teaching at your club. Now, here's what's startling. Which of those is growing over the last few years? Which term are more and more people searching for? And you can see by a long shot, just way ahead of the others, is yoga. And you see this huge interest in yoga over the last couple of years because more and more people are going online and searching for yoga. Now that may be, they might be looking about yoga or what is yoga, but more and more people are doing that than they are Pilates and what is Pilates. So you can see yoga is the number one, way ahead of the others. Another thing too is, if you want to know terminology, do people use the word aerobics? Do they use fitness classes? Do they use group fitness classes? What terminology does the public use when they're looking for what we call a group fitness class? And you can see the red, simply the term fitness classes, is certainly higher than the others. Not much, but it's certainly something to think about. But group fitness, the orange line, is the lowest. Us in the industry use the word group fitness, but the public may not. So again, if we look at results, lose weight, muscle fit, build muscle, get fit, tone up, and the new term functional training, which everybody is chasing, but what about the public? Are the public using that to search for stuff? And again, what you see is no. So I'll finish up now very quickly. One thing I will say to you is, because we haven't got through everything because I've limited time, is we use WordPress as our website. We use Yoast to manage the SEO side of it. It's a great tool to use. So there's no doubt WordPress and Yoast is a great way to start. An example would be is we do kettlebell classes. If I go into my WordPress thing and I click on the edit side, I'll see the copy there. If I scroll down, I come across this thing called Yoast. We pay for it, and you'll see here the Yoast, and it will tell me if that page has been properly optimized for SEO as best we can, and it's just speeded things up a lot more. And I can go in there and look at that and say, well, okay, readability, it's fine, the sentence in the right length and everything else, and the focus keyword, the green, means yes, it's good, which is grand. So that means then that when somebody goes in and presses kettlebell classes, they go in there, and of course we're there, and we're number one in the organic listings. Are we getting millions and millions of euros in business? No, but we're getting a nice steady trickle, and we're number one on Google. So you can see there we're number one for ladies fitness, we're number one for bodybuilding, we're number one for weight training, we're number one for lots of stuff, and that's because of that. The last thing is data capture forms. We use Gravity Forms. What is a data capture form? You can have your designer do them, or tools like this can make it very, very easy. So there we go, and I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm not going to do any more because it's been a very long presentation. It's been an absolute delight to present for the Fitness Industry Technology Summit. Justin Tamsett, who's been organizing it, is an incredible individual and has done so much for the industry, and is probably recognized all over the world as one of the foremost experts in retention, sales, customer service, and everything to do with the fitness industry. So if there's anything that anybody else wants, my email is alan.leach, Leach @westwood.ie. I do speak at a lot of conferences. Maybe we'll see you there someday. So after that, it's just time to say good night. And as I say, drop me a line if anybody wants anything. It's been a tough, long presentation, but hopefully you've stayed with me. Thank you.